So once again, my main man, Domanick, sent me a little bit of film. If you recall, Domanick Knott was a all-conference high school kicker at GET last year in Wisconsin and is now trying to earn the job as a kicker punter at Carthage College here in Wisconsin. And so he recently sent me some film. And you can do that. You can upload film to the chat. You can put it right into a post, but sometimes it's he sent about 6 different files and only like 3 of them came through that I could download. So that's what I've used here. But just real quickly, I haven't done anything really much with this, but this is kind of how I break things down. And if you did a one-on-one video call with me, I would be doing some of this stuff with you. If this was your huddle film, or have you go out into the field and teach you how to shoot a little bit of video. So Domanick is, we went through a little bit of what Domanick was doing on his kicking. And so here I'm so pleased to see that he is getting some chances on punt. So this must have been a scrimmage that Carthage had. So they're going to put the scrimmage team out here. This is Domanick here, standing 14 yards back in college. In high school, I'd have you at about anywhere from 12.5 to 13.5 because your snapper is normally not as good. Here, I would probably put Domanick's heels at 14, not at 14.25, but again, this is up to your coaching staff. Pro guys are typically at 15 because these guys bring it, and maybe you got a pro snapper, but you don't want to get too deep. There is a cone of protection from the wings through these personal protectors to you. And Domanick does something, I'm going to pick on him. I love picking on Domanick. But let's take a quick look at this film that he sent me, all right? So here's Domanick. So this is a 30-yard punt in the air from the line of scrimmage, obviously. And so good athleticism. Let me real quick go back. So as a punter, you need to be ready to move. You got to beat the ball to the location. High snap, picks it up, gets back into his stance very quickly. That's all great. Hits this punt. It goes about 30 yards in the fly and then bounces forward. There is a return guy back here in a scrimmage. What I'd be yelling at this guy. Why aren't you fair catching this thing? Because as a punter, and just know this as a high schooler and college guy, to be an effective punter beyond the techniques that you need to learn. I want to help Domanick out just a little bit here, but he's going to feel bad. Oh, I only punted it 30 yards. Well, in truth, he punted it 40 yards in flight because there's about 10 yards back of the snap, right, that he's got to clear. So if you're going to be a 40-yard punter, you got to hit it at least 50 yards to do that. So when the pro guys are hitting 40, 50-yard punt, he's hitting a 60, 70-yard punt, right, on some of this stuff. But because this guy doesn't fair catch it and we get the roll, so what did I say here? I said, hey, this is a 30-yard punt. So if he did fair catch it, Domanick's average would be 30 yards. But because it rolls another, 15, 16 yards, he's get 46 yards out of the punt if we just downed it or he didn't do anything with it. So to the punting team, Domanick's plus 46 in high school as a high school coach. If you're a high school coach, I'm looking for a net 30 from my punt team. If we're on our own 30-yard line, then I need to make sure that the other team's going to start the field on their own 40. Give me the 20 up to the 50. Give me 10 more. Give me 30 yards. Give me pro 30 yards. We got a fair catch and we're done, or the ball landed and we downed it or whatever. I want net 30. I don't want any returns for touchdowns. I don't want any big returns. That's why you do get, Domanick nails this thing. He hits it 55 yards. That guy's going to catch it, and now he's got a big return. What did it net us? That's what's important. So the pro guys are getting better and better. It used to be in my era, the Ray Guy kind of thing of just crank it and try to get that 46, 48-yard average or whatever, and wouldn't that be neat? But wait a second, our net average all of a sudden was at 41 yards or 39 yards. You're not helping. And so now they're hitting knuckleballs and they're hitting spinners and they're hitting a lot of different kinds of kicks. And instead of worrying about the damn average, right, I've got pooch kicks. I was the first team all-conference punter as a sophomore in college because just the happenstance of it. I had a ton of punts and I punted it a long way for the most part. But in my junior and senior, I wasn't. I actually got better as a punter, but they didn't make me the first team guy. Why? Because my average wasn't greater. Well, we had a better team. We kept scoring and we would stall out sometimes on the other side of the 50 and we would pooch it. we had a great defense. And so I would punt like a 31-yard punt straight up in the air and lock them in inside the 20, inside the 10, inside the 5. You are a game changer if you can be that guy instead of, oh, I just hit this sucker and it rolled into the end zone. Oh, too bad. You just gave him a 20-yard return. So for Domanick here, this is an absolute plus, right? So as he does this, here's a little bit closer up. So Domanick moves swiftly to make this catch. As a punter, you got to be athletic. Makes the catch. Hey, it's not perfect anymore. Now I've got to get back into it, get this punt off, and off we go. Call the position, middle, right, left, whatever. And so it hits. The guy doesn't do it, and we're down. All right. So here's another one. We're behind him. This is only going to go 28 yards in the air. Now, here's where I'm going to pick on Domanick, and I'm going to help him get better. So he hits a big, watermelon ball, kind of a big wobbler out there. It only goes 28 yards. But look at the roll on this sucker. What did I say? I go back here, and here's a plus 43. So again, who is this guy? What the heck? Come in here, make the catch. If it was too short, and this one might have been too short. And so as far as the stats are concerned, Domanick has had a tremendous game. He's averaging like 45, 46 yards a punt. And Domanick knows I didn't do that. These are two kind of crappy kicks for me. All right. Now, here's what I'm going to pick on Domanick for is this is not a bad snap. All right. Let me take this and stop it. Hello. All right. So Domanick isn't, so the snap is a little right. But understand the personal protectors, just stop it here. Hello. So his personal protectors are right here. They're looking for this A gap, B gap, C gap, and their eyes just keep moving this way. Domanick needs to stay in this cone of protection. But he catches this, and on the previous one, yep, the snap was over here, and he moved right and kicked it center. Look at what we do. Now look what Domanick does. Hey, wait a second. There's no reason for him to go. This is almost like a rugby style kick, but that's not even how he's kicking it. He's hitting this as a traditional punt. Why aren't we going square to the ball? Unless he is trying to do rugby. And if he's trying to do rugby, then what I don't like about this is why isn't he taking rugby and going right to right? And let's pin these guys down here. Why would I punt it straight down the field and give this return guy all 53 yards to return it? So I want him to catch it square, get square, and move. Or if we were at this point, I would have been tempted on the field. I don't know what their wind conditions are, but I would have been tempted. I want to punt left. I'm closer to left hash. Catch this ball, take my first step going this way to this guy, and punt this over on this third. Let's give him that 1/3 and my 10 guys to pin him in down here. But Domanick moves right outside of the cone of protection and now hits this wobbler. Now get ready, be in the play. What if the guy picks it up and comes? You got to be the guy that makes the tackle. But here the team comes down. This guy this would drive me insane as a coach. Really, we gave him 15 extra yards. And then this last one here, again, so this snapper has been high. That's the same ball. Let me just real quick go back out on that snapper. Why is he snapping this way? When you start to see this in your snapper and it's high, normally what it means is his back is too high. His arms will follow and he will shoot it higher. Okay, and so let's take a quick look, slow motion. Yeah, dang right. Take a look at this. So look at the snapper, and his first move here is, I'm going to get graphic here, parents. He needs to fart a strike. He needs to come right out of his butthole here and shoot it right to Domanick. But instead, he's going to dip his head down because it's a punt. He's got to snap it 14 yards. And so now he lifts his butt. And so now instead of farting it right to Domanick, he's going to come close to shooting it over his head. Boom, there's where it goes. No, keep your back down, snappers, and get a good snap. Okay. And the last thing here, we're going to close up pretty quickly here because I don't want to, I'm stealing some of your time. But I hope I'm adding value. So here's one last thing. So again, Domanick moving right. No, that's your traditional kick. That is not a rugby punt. Right? I appreciate this is a good catch. If you catch it clean, punt it clean. Right? Ooh, not a great drop. Let's go slow, slow. Coach Farley. All right. So what do I want Domanick to do? I want this catch, this ball to stay on a level plane. I want his steps to be forward here. I want him to lock out, and I want this beautiful little drop that he's going to hit right in here. So let's see what happens. So Domanick puts it on the plane. I'm just going one at a time here. So now, all right. So do you see that? And this is very slight, but instead of staying straight with this ball and keeping it down, lowering on the table at a low angle here, he's going to lift back up. He's actually going to lift up to drop it. And now the nose goes down. Now we hit it kind of with our toe and we don't get the hit that we're looking for. All right. So Domanick can do that to improve his game.